guys, Toby here. You might know me as Hunt Mountains on Instagram if you happen to follow me. I'm here today to give you a bit of a demonstration on the internals of a deer, their structure, their shoulders, lungs and heart, the things you're going to be aiming for in the rut. So this type of video is not an original idea of mine. This comes from an elk. I've seen a fella do an elk description, the same ordeal with the lungs and the compressor and everything like that. So this is just for our deer in Australia, a bit of a close to home example of what's going to get in the way when you take that shot. Mainly for bow hunters, because the bullet's going to go through the bone. So this is for the bow hunters out there. The lungs, the heart, the orientation of all these organs when the deer's sitting, when it's standing, it's breathing. I'm going to try and just show you what you should be thinking about, as well as where the shot's going, as what's going on, the body position of the deer, etc. So hopefully you get something out of this. It's coming up to rut time. It should be relevant. A lot of you guys don't get to know the insides of a deer. I grew up on a farm, so cutting sheep, pigs, lambs, cows, everything up. So yeah, a lot of us know where the organs are, but a lot don't, and it's something that you won't get exposed to unless somebody shows you, or you get out there and cut it up yourself and have a look, which is also a really good idea. Anyway, we'll get straight to it, eh? Okay, so here we have a fallow deer. So say this is your front leg. We'll start with a walking. That deer's going to be walking. It's taking that leg's down and back. This leg's forward, taking a step. See that? The bones and the scapula. When a deer's bedded, its legs are here. 1, 2, 3 bones. You've got a tiny little hole. So when it's walking forward though, that leg's forward, you've got a full open area to work with. So these bones right here, the scapula and the leg bones, there's a lot of reason that people have mechanical broadhead failure. Mechanical broadheads don't like scapulas. Generalising. You watch Donnie Vincent's The River Divide, perfect example. Pretty sure he hits the scapula with a mechanical broadhead, it fails, doesn't get any penetration, and he gets the deer in the end, but he may not have. They may never have come back. So this is why a lot of people choose fixed blade over mechanical, because a fixed blade will smash that bone, as I've done on the other side of this animal, and go straight through the scapula and the ribs. We got that, we roll that shoulder off. There's no mechanical joints connecting a front shoulder of these animals. It's just muscle and tendons, ligaments and tissue holding the shoulder on. So it's quite manoeuvrable depending where the deer's sitting, standing, position. That shoulder can float around a little bit in position, the same as our shoulder blades. You can roll them, move them, depends how it's walking, how it's eating, how it's sitting, how it's squatting. It all makes a difference. And it can be the difference between a deflected shot and a straight shot. So the best shot you want is a broadside taking a step forward. Head down eating will work. Before you're quartering away, so we've got our last rib is right here. Coming in quartering away, the arrow's going to come through there, it's going to bust what we call the diaphragm. There's a good chance you're going to either hit the heart, which is sitting in there between both lungs. Got lungs that sit either side of the heart, surround it like that. And so coming in, quartering away, good chance of hitting all that and busting the diaphragm. Stopping them breathing, their lungs will fill up with blood quicker, or you hit their heart and their demise is really quick and ethical. So position of our lungs. This is a lung lobe, this is like the rear end of the lungs. You can see that's the pointy end. It goes up under there, so it sits in, when inflated, which I'll show you in a sec, sits right up here. Comes down to about there under the shoulder. So when inflated, you've got this triangle shape of lungs that you're going to hit. Also, tucked in there, other side of the diaphragm, is the liver. So we don't like to shoot the liver or aim for it, but it's deadly when we hit it. So it's a bit of insurance back there. But when you hit them high back of the lungs, it's generally where the shot goes for a high back of the lung shot, when the animal still has a quick demise. Best shot though is straight through the heart. Top of the heart, both lungs. Because the lungs, they've got a bit of a gap there, as you can see, and when inflated there's still a bit of a gap either side of the heart. But high lungs will get you both high heart will get you both lungs and the heart, and that'll do the animal really quick. So this morning I shot this deer and took out the bottom of its heart and the side of its heart. It was quite a low shot. but it ran probably 10 metres and collapsed. Plus it wasn't running really well because I broke this opposite side shoulder with my broadhead. So that gives you an idea too. This is a 2-year-old buck. That's the size of its heart, so a bit bigger than a tennis ball. So you've got a group like that for its heart. So as we know, these deer, they jump the string. All deer jump the string. Chital or axis deer is notorious for jumping the string. They can drop a full body depth. And I've shot at a chital deer and it's been a full body length away from my arrow at 30 metres. So they're extremely quick. But fallow aren't as quick, but they're still up there with one of the better arrow dodgers that they come. So the idea when you're shooting a broadside on a deer that's semi-alert is you aim for its heart, dead on its heart. The deer will drop and you've still got another 4 to 6 inches, depending on the size of the animal, of lung capacity. But if it doesn't drop, you're still going to smack its heart. If you aim really low, you've got about 3 inches there of nothing, of sternum, brisket, you're going to hear an awful loud crack. You're going to get good blood, but you're not going to kill the animal. And I dare say there's a few of them have been there in that situation. The same applies for what they call no man's land. So when a deer is standing up, these organs drop. And when a deer exhales, those lungs contract down and they're small. And if you shoot a deer that's fully exhaled and the organs are sitting low, you've got a space about that big below the spine for an arrow to run through and it won't even know it. Straight through, maybe break the top of the rib, maybe completely miss the ribs and go through, and that's what they call is the no man's land. Let's blow these lungs up and have a look at the area you got to work with. Okay, so this is a representation of where the lungs sit. So your legs are here, and pump a bit of air in there. Right, so you see there when it's standing and it's breathed in, you've got, roll that out of the way. You've got the rear lobe of the lungs, which people say they hit high and back. They can generally get both lungs. So this is duplicated on the other side as well. So you don't want to plan for an inflated lung shot. You want to plan for a deflated lung shot. If you hit deflated lungs and he inhales, he's going to open that wound up massively. So anyway, that still gives you an area to work with. So you can see there we got protection from the scapula and the leg bone. So there's your leg bone. There's the scapula. So even when a deer is bedded, even more protection. Hell of a lot more protection. But that's, I don't know how big they go, probably about that size there, that's about full. You've got a hole in it from an arrow, so it's leaking a bit. But what draws the lungs in and out, you see the gut popping through there from me hitting it with a knife, is this diaphragm here. The diaphragm contracts into this space, deflates the lungs, and then pulls back. A lot of times, people quartering away, come in here, your last rib's about here. Take it under there, it opens up the diaphragm and smashes the lungs and a heart if you're low enough. The diaphragm will stop them breathing as well, and their lungs will collapse and fill up with blood much quicker, pass out and die. It's extremely effective shot. Full broadside straight through both lungs, the heart. Quartering on, got a lot of bone. You still got a nice gap through here, but it's a really small window to work with. So we'll just do that again for you. I'm running out of air. You get the idea. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that helped someone. Could be a few points in there that aren't quite correct or aren't exactly how you would explain them or describe them, but I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be, so get out of it what you can. So and just remember those the fundamentals of where the positions are, and there is things about quartering away. So quartering away can be anywhere from the last rib right round to almost broadside, then it becomes broadside. So that covers a whole lot of angles. So if you got a little confused with shooting in behind the last rib, it's not. It's whatever angle present. I wouldn't go any further. You run risk of hitting the hip, things like that, any further around. But yep, position of the heart, the lungs, the ribs, your leg bones, the scapula. Hopefully that helps you pinpoint your target zone on your next hunt for deer.